What's up, world? Thanks for jumping in for another eye. Cliff here at Downshifting, and today we're going to be covering the basics of rotating the tires on an all-wheel drive vehicle. So today we're going to be rotating the tires on our 2018 Ford Edge Sport with a set of Michelin all-season 4s that were installed on the 2018 Ford Edge Sport about a year and 16,000 miles ago. And the reason for rotating the tires is it will go a long way towards extending the life of your tires. Tire rotation can even out tread wear and extend the life of your tires, especially on something like the 2018 Ford Edge Sport where all 4 tires are actively engaging. And rotating the tires on your all-wheel drive vehicle can go a long way to keeping a reduced noise level and the overall comfort level of your vehicle. Now, uneven tread wear can affect your fuel economy, the road noise off of your tires, and most importantly, it can cause traction issues, which is going to be a huge safety concern. So rotating your tires is an important thing to do. Now, I want to say right up front that if you're not comfortable doing this, it's not a big deal at all. A lot of the tire chains or the big box stores will do this for free. A lot of tire shops will do it just at a minimal charge. Especially if you purchase the tires at that particular store, they will go ahead and do this for free or at a very low cost. I just thought I would share this with you while we're in the shop, and if you have someone do it, well, now you know what to look for and you can make sure that it's done appropriately on your all-wheel drive. But if you have the tools and the time, this is a great job to knock out in the driveway or your garage. And at a minimum, hopefully this video can give you a basic overview of the tire rotation process on an all-wheel drive. If you decide to have this job performed at your local shop, not a big deal. You can use this video as some basic information to make sure that the job is done up to a good standard. After all, tires are not getting any less expensive. And now if you're going to be doing this job yourself at home or in your garage, there are going to be a few tools that are necessary. So I want to lay out a few tools here, and some of these tools are going to be absolutely essential and some of them are going to be optional. We'll just run over the tools real quick, and if you're interested in any of this stuff, I will put affiliate links down in the description below if you want to check out any of that stuff. I really would appreciate that. And the absolute basics is you are going to need an appropriate socket, and so we're just going to be using this particular one. It is a 21 millimeter for our Ford Edge, but just the appropriate socket for your application will be necessary. Also, if you're going to be doing this completely manual, you are going to need something like a breaker bar or a very heavy duty ratchet. So I have a 1/2-inch drive Craftsman with a swivel head here, something like that would work. In place of those, we are going to be using an electric impact, so that will speed up the process and make things much easier. Also, you're going to need a way to safely lift the vehicle, so a good floor jack is ideal for that situation. And also, absolutely essential, a good set of jack stands. So pick up some good jack stands if you don't have them. Maybe not 100% necessary, but a good set of wheel chocks would probably be a good idea for this. That way, as you're rotating sides, you can go ahead and put a wheel chalk underneath whatever side it is. You can obviously engage the parking brake and all that sort of stuff, but a good set of wheel chocks is probably a really good idea. And definitely not necessary, but optional if you want to go ahead and document your tread depth and just kind of get an idea of wear patterns on your tires, is a tread depth gauge. And so again, affiliate links down in the description below. I like to keep a couple of different styles of tread depth gauge. I have them over the years in the shop, but completely optional. Tread depth gauge may be a good idea just to throw in your toolbox. That way you can keep up with any sort of weird wear patterns on your tires. Alignment issues, things like that. It's always good to catch it early. Now, with everything that we've laid out here, our setup is going to look a little bit different than what your setup may look like if you're doing this in your garage, driveway, whatever it may be. Because obviously we're going to be doing this on the lift. We're going to cheat a little bit, and we're going to be using a bridge jack, which will pick up one end and then we'll run down and pick up the other end. But regardless, again, driveway, garage type environment, just make sure that you're on level ground. Make sure that you're using your wheel chocks. Make sure that you're taking advantage of using your jack stands. So just be very safe about this. Pay attention to what's going on. Whatever you do, don't just rely on a hydraulic jack to hold the vehicle up. Make sure that you're going to be using something like a jack stand, something like that. Our bridge jack actually has a locking feature that allows it to stay into position, much like the lift does, so we don't have any worries there. So that will expedite this process a little bit on our end. Also, just common sense, your owner's manual can help you out with a lot of specific details if you're looking for anything in particular, and just make sure that you are lifting the vehicle at the appropriate lifting points for your jack and jack stand positioning. That is going to be absolutely vital to doing this job safely. So now that we've covered all the safety, essential, and optional items, let's go ahead and talk about the actual tire rotation process. So the tire rotation process for a single size tire, nothing staggered. That means a different size in the front, different size in the back. So this is the same size all the way around on our all-wheel drive Ford Edge. The process is absolutely super simple. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the front driver's side and we're going to move it to the rear passenger side. We're going to take the front passenger side and we're going to move it to the rear driver's side. We're going to take the rear driver's side and we're going to move it to the front passenger side. We're going to take the rear passenger side and we're gonna move it up to the front driver's side. So basically, just to keep it really simple, we're gonna make an X pattern with all the tires and wheels. And that is the basic overview of what you're gonna need to get this job done and the process to do it. So the only thing left to do is everything. So let's get busy. All right, so I am about to grab the bridge jack. You can see it sticking up right there, and go ahead and get the forward edge elevated to go ahead and start our tire rotation. But before I do that, I wanted to jump in here really quick and remind you that if you're gonna be doing this in your garage, driveway, anything like that, before you get the forward edge jacked up, you can obviously just hold the brake if you needed to. But it's gonna be much easier while it's sitting on the ground to just go ahead and break the lug nuts loose with your breaker bar or really heavy duty ratchet, something like that. But just wanna throw that out as a reminder because I'm gonna be using impact to expedite this, so I won't need to do that, but wanted to throw it out there. That way you don't forget to do this in the process. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and get the bridge jack and get the forward edge elevated up, and we'll get started on the tire rotation. So we've got our forward edge up in the air, and you can see we have our jack stands with our jacking points there, and over on that side, we have our bridge jack locked into place, and our front driver's side is ready to come off. So I just took some painter's tape and marked each one. So that is our front driver's side. So I'm going to go ahead and get that off really quick. Rear driver's side, ready to come off. And here is our rear passenger side being removed. So we're going to go ahead and get that one off. Last tire and wheel combo to come off, front passenger side. So we're going to go ahead and get this one off and get it ready for our tire rotation. So one of the things that I personally like to do, and this is just completely an optional thing, is if I'm going to be balancing tires or if I'm going to be doing a tire rotation, while I have it apart, what I like to do is I can reach the inside of the barrels, or basically what is the inside perimeter of the wheel. And so this is much easier to do with everything off of the vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick cleaning on all of the inside of the barrels here. And so these wheels will be cleaned up as they go back on the car. Totally an optional thing, just something that I want to point out. It's kind of a reminder if you're going to be doing this and you want to go ahead and clean things up while it's apart, it is much easier to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the inside of the barrels on these wheels cleaned up before we go back together with it. All right, so we have what was originally on our rear passenger side up on our front driver's side. I just got the wheel and tire set up there. So if you're doing this at home with just hand tools or whatever it may be, just go ahead and bottom out your lug nuts. They don't have to be super tight, just make sure that they're bottomed out. Just make sure that the pad of your wheel is up against the mounting surface. That way, you know, it's not going to shift or anything like that when you lower it down. So other than that, I'm just going to bottom out a couple of these just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. And so that's really all we need. We're up good against our mounting surface on there. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other 5 just like this, keep going all the way around, and then when we let the forward edge down, we'll go ahead and be ready at that point to hit it with our torque wrench. I mean, it's really just kind of going through the motions if you've never done it before, but it's a simple process. So let me go ahead and get this wrapped up and we'll come back with a torque wrench. All right, I know I said I would be right back with a torque wrench, but I thought before I peel off these lovely labels that I made on each wheel, and again, this is just a crisscross pattern. It really is super simple, but I thought I would show you just kind of where we ended up with. So you can see this is going to be the rear passenger side, and now we are going to be on the front driver's side. The front passenger side is now on the rear driver's side. The front driver's side is now on the rear passenger side. And the rear driver is now on the front passenger side. So like I said, basic crisscross pattern. Just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to go ahead and pull the labels off and get the edge down, and we'll go ahead and get these wheels and tires torqued in. Now with our tires sitting on the ground, or in our case on the lift, so if you're doing this garage driveway, obviously it's going to be on the ground. We are ready to torque it in, and so I'm just going to use a 1/2" drive. You can use a 3/8 drive, torque wrench, whatever you may have. This has got a longer handle. It definitely has more leverage to it. Make sure you check your owner's manual for your torque spec on this. I'm going to use 90 foot-pounds. It's a good safe number. So normally it's somewhere between like 80 and 100. So I just use 90 as kind of the middle ground. But other than that, just go ahead and torque them all in. And I'm just going to randomly pick one, a couple turns on it, and then I'm going to go complete opposite. And that one's torqued in, and then I'm going to go opposite of that one. Patterns there with that whole crisscross thing. I'm going to go opposite of that one. Go opposite of that one. Go back over here where I started. And so that torques in our driver's side rear, so I'm gonna go ahead and do our other three. And that completes the tire rotation on an all-wheel drive vehicle, particularly our 2018 Ford Sport. So if you have any experience with tire rotations, any personal stories, any tips, tricks, anything like that, please do us a huge favor and share them down in the comments below. Now with that, we really do hope you got some good information out of this video, or we hope you just enjoyed hanging out in the shop with us today. If you have, you know the deal. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. And as always, jump in for another ride.